Okay, hello YouTube. So before you see a 2012 BMW GS Adventure. I bought this bike a little less than a year ago. Absolutely love it. 2012 was the last year the oil cooled models before they went liquid cooled. I kind of like the old school styling and the way it looks. I just really like the bike. The one thing I haven't been real impressed with so far is the light output because they still use old standard halogen bulbs. So from the stop, kind of the start light to all the way when the engine's running, the lights are a little underwhelming. So one of the things I'd like to do is start to switch these out to LEDs. And so I looked on Amazon and I found these kits, this LED car light kit, and it is a H11 series bulb, which I believe are exactly what mounts into these. So I'm going to take the old halogen bulbs out of the fog lights and replace them with these and see if I can get a brighter light out of those driving lights. It should be a pretty straightforward job. I think the tools I need are a Torx T30, a T15. I need a 10 millimeter wrench, and I need a bottle opener, and the bottle opener is for the beer that I'm going to enjoy doing this job, and this should be a one beer evolution. So with that, we'll get started. All right, so I'm going to remove the light with the 10 millimeter and the T30. Pretty simple and straightforward. All right, so that came right off. And then that should just slip right out. Yep. And that releases the headlight assembly, or the fog light assembly. So set that aside, put these down. And then to disconnect this, I believe these just pinch together and it pulls out. Yeah. Okay. Very straightforward. So as long as the connectors are the same in the new bulb, I should be good to go. So pull these guys out and see if the connectors look the same. I assume, yep. Basically, yeah, they are not identical though, because I don't have that plastic tab in there. So I don't know if that's going to be something that's needed or not. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes together. Okay, the next phase is to get that bulb out, which is going to take the T15. And they are 1, 2, 3, 4 screws holding that in, holding the cover on. Obviously this is plastic, so it's not torqued down real tight. All right, one is out. 2 is out. 3 and 4. Do that without dropping those guys. That's always a step in the right direction. All right, so from there, the two pieces separate. Pretty straightforward. And I believe the bulb is just held in with a 90-degree turn. And it's out. As you can see, that's just an old halogen bulb. So hopefully this fits back in here similarly. All right, that seems to go in there okay. If that's the right, make sure that's the right angle. Yeah, so it should be, I think, facing down is how it is on the other light. Yep. All right, and cover back on. Huh, all right, so it's a little bit deeper than the original light, so it's pushing against that a little bit, but we'll see how much that impacts as we start to screw it down. But you know what, before I go through all that, let's just test it and see if it works. Because now I have no idea which way is knowing what's the ground, or is it the other way? All right, well, we'll see. Oh, yep. All right, so that works, and immediately looking at them side by side, you can see the difference in the light right off the bat. So, all right, I'm going to figure out a way to make this work. I think I am. Going to get that cover off again. There we go. All right. That's going to be a little tricky, but we'll see what we can do here. Let's get these guys started, and I'll see how much I can torque it down. There's one. I'll try another one on the opposite. There comes the hard part, because that is not going together as flush as the stock. All right, so if I can reasonably tighten that without over torquing the plastic, let's see how that goes. That seems to be kind of working out okay. All right, so once it kind of got going, it seemed to squeeze in there okay. I think that'll work. All right, so there we go. So there's a little crack in there you can notice, but it's not much different than the factory. So, all right, and let's see, we did that. I'll double check the wiring, but I believe that's just there. And again, do an op check one more time. Yep, it's working. And grab the bolt, put the T30 back on here, feed that through, and see how she goes. All right, you'll align that, and I think that's it. So again, you can see the difference. And the two lights, it is very noticeable. And I definitely like that LED brightness much better. So that's it. I'll do the same thing on the other side, and I've got LED light for fog lights. All right, and there's the finished product. And already you can tell the difference between the halogen headlight and the LED fog light. So
think that's a step in the right direction. I definitely like the way that looks, and I'll try it at night and make sure, but everything worked great.
I may eventually look at doing the headlight replacement. I know there's some Chinese knockoffs that use those. And I'll also do the LEDs in here to replace these. So, all right. Well, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful.